So, something amazing has happened. The stars have aligned. Here I am. I had just finished editing a video, and it's like 3 a.m. I go to turn off, some of the lights I have on in my house because I'm about to call it a night. And boom, notification on my YouTube. Bernie Sanders is on Joe Rogan. And I'm like, well, I'm about to be up for another hour. And that's what happened. I was up for another hour watching Joe Rogan interview Bernie Sanders, and it was amazing. Listen, a couple things. I know Joe Rogan gets a lot of criticism because people feel he interviews a lot of right-wingers a lot, or he might lean towards the right. I've never seen it that way. I've never seen it, why is Rogan giving these people a platform to speak on? Listen, he's interviewed, the Alex Joneses and the Dave Rubins and the Candace Owens and people along those lines. But he's also interviewed the Kyle Kalinskis, the Jimmy Dores. And I really do like his podcast. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's the number one podcast, right? The number one podcast in America. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure you will all have no problem letting me know if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's the number one podcast in America. And it was trending. So I'm actually a day late. But yeah, it was amazing. And it was such a good look because it allowed Bernie Sanders to uninterrupted speak on his ideas and his ideology. And the forum in which it was on, the podcast, was perfect because he really got to express how much of a non-radical he is. A lot of people say, Bernie's a radical. He's a socialist this. He's that. They try to say socialist like it's a bad word. They try to make that a bad word. He's a democratic socialist. He's actually a social democrat, but let's not even get into that. So it was perfect, and it worked out in his favor. And the proof of this is, if you look at the reaction from normal people, not from the media, not from the Fox News and people on those lines, if you look at the reaction from everyday people that aren't knee deep into politics, like I'm into politics. There's a lot of people that are knee deep into politics that's what they do. They live and breathe it, right? A lot of people even more so than me. But if you look at normal people's reaction to that interview, to that podcast, they're like, holy crap, this is what Bernie's about? Oh man, see, I heard something totally different. They were telling me this and that. They finally got to see Bernie Sanders and his ideas for what they were and for who he is, right? And Joe asked some pretty interesting questions, and Bernie got to answer those questions to their full extent. And it worked out in his favor. He's running for POTUS, and this was nothing but a check mark. This was necessary. And whenever he interviews lefties, like he interviewed Tulsi, he interviewed Bernie. Whenever he interviews lefties, I feel like he really takes something away. I feel like Joe's really like, okay, I got you. Like something clicks. And I think he got that with Bernie Sanders. And it showed Bernie wasn't asking for too much. We're supposed to be number one. This is America, number one. Well, why are we doing last place loser shit? Right? The big corporations are shitting on us, and we got to put a stop to it. Full stop. These prescription drug prices and the prescription drug crisis that we're going through, It needs to stop. And I think Bernie laid it out. And look, I'm going to put the link in the description to that podcast. If you haven't, if by some small chance you're listening to me and you haven't listened to the Bernie Sanders Joe Rogan podcast, go click on that and go watch it, because you're missing out. It's a really good interview. And it was only an hour, unfortunately. I could have, listen, it was 3 a.m., so I finished watching it at 4, and I could have stayed up and watched it even longer. I could have kept going. It was a great interview. And some funny things to note. Rogan asked him about aliens, in true Joe Rogan fashion. Like, hey, you know, you make it to POTUS. When you make it to POTUS, you gonna let us in on the aliens? Pretty funny. I'll actually throw that clip there in the end. I don't want to put too many clips in here, because I want you to go and I want you to watch it. I really want you to go watch that podcast. But at the end of this, I will put the alien clip. I thought it was funny. And one more thing, they talked about marijuana and how Bernie Sanders would legalize marijuana. And I think that probably caught a lot of people's attention. Can you just imagine, you know, Joe Rogan and Bernie Sanders smoking? Bernie's like, Joe, where'd you get this stuff, Joe? We don't have this shit in Vermont. This is grade A. This is grade A, Joe. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I'm going to make sure this goes to Vermont. This is some good shit, Joe. I got to tell you. Biden needs some of this. Maybe he put his head on straight, Joe. Can you just imagine? That was my Bernie Sanders impression. Don't come for me. Don't come for me. I'm Bernie Sanders, and I'm smoking pot with Joe. Like, oh man, it was great. He talked about legalizing marijuana. He talked about the pharmaceutical industry. He talked about the medical industry. And it was very eye-opening. It was very enlightening. And it really opened a lot of people's eyes who have been influenced by Fox News, influenced by the CNNs, influenced by the MSNBCs, who's construed Bernie's message. This is straight up, in your face, here's what I'm about. And it was great. So the link's in the description. Please go watch that if you already have it. And I'm playing the clip at the end of this video of Rogan asking about the aliens, because I thought it was hilarious, and it's not going to ruin anything in the interview. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you don't like what you see, if you don't like what you hear, screw you. No, I'm kidding. If you don't, leave a comment. Let me know why. I'm always open to some debate. I'm always open for some discussion. All right? Hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Peace.
I'm going to let you go because I know you got very important things to do. One last question. If you got into the office and you found out something about aliens, if you found out something about UFOs, would you let us know?
Well, I'll tell you, my wife would demand that I let you know.
Is your wife a UFO nut?
No, she's not a UFO nut. But just, Bernie, what is going on? Do you have any access to the records?
You don't have any access?
I don't. Honestly,
no?
I don't know.
Okay. You let us know, though?
All right. I'll be on the show. We'll announce it on the show. How's
Please.
that? All right.
Please
you got
do.
it, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.